to give his team chance enough to get underneath it.
When Danny Brough puts the ball up, it's a lonely place at the back of the field, and you've got to rely on your defence to get around you, because 9 times out of 10 there's going to be a fumble. It's never going to be a clean catch.
But even with those little kicks that, you know, the ones that are little reverse kicks where he looks one way and slide, this Wakefield side, they're anticipating that kick. It's no fluke how many tries they score off little plays like that, so you've got to be on red alert right across the 80 minutes with him.
They're your former club as well,
yeah,
Wakefield.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, no David Fafita, who they are missing, and there is their list of injuries. Jack Croft starts a game for the first time today as well, 19 years old, come through Wakefield's academy. I mean, that shows what Chris Chester's having to deal with at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, you look at your Tom Johnsons, your Bill Tupus. I think he was the top meter maker last year. And who's this Wakefield backline now looking to start that rot, to get the ball in their favour and to let their forwards take over. So you know, they've got Ryan Hampshire, who's a skimmer, and Reece Lynn, he's a very good tough ball carrier as well. So you know, there's a lot of work on those youngsters that you see coming into this side.
And the work that Chris Chester's done has gone under the radar, would you say, unless you're a rugby league die-hard fan?
I would think so. You look at the talent out of the team there today. I pick up on what Sam said earlier in relation to the chances for Wakefield today. It's in and around the middle with Brough probing and kicking, and if you can get some momentum, which is easier said than done against his Saints team, I think that's their best opportunity, because they've got 4 class backs out of their unit.
Yeah. They throw a lot at you, Wakefield, as well. Chris Chester obviously promotes a style of rugby where they want the ball to be moved sideline to sideline, and it's tough to defend. If they can get on a roll, they obviously rely on Fafita very often to get them on the front foot. They've not got him today, so that the guys in the middle are going to have to try and do what Fafita does normally to give them the chances, but they throw a lot of shape at you.
All right, let's hear from both head coaches, shall we? Tanya caught up with them. Tanya Arnold caught up with them a few moments ago.
Has it been a different kind of feel this week, building up to a knockout game?
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, we want to play the same way we're playing because we're happy with that, but it is different, and I want to acknowledge that. You know, we understand the Challenge Cup's a different campaign, and you know, we want to be a part of that further than today.
We want to be involved in a semi-final of some sort, whether that be a Challenge Cup or the top 5 in Super League. We're there or thereabouts in Super League, but what a great opportunity it is today. You know, we've got a really good opportunity against St Helens. They're playing particularly well. Nobody expects us to win today, apart from ourselves, so we'll give it a real good go.
How conscious are you? Yes, you're flying in the league, but you know, last season you didn't make those major finals, of getting to the big finals, getting your hands on some silverware this term.
Yeah, we can't do anything about that. I mean, obviously we have to win today to stay in the competition, so you know, we can't change any of that until we get better opportunities, and I feel we've been playing better this year for it. I feel like we're more in control of games and staying really calm when we're in difficult situations, and we've had some good wins this year from difficult positions. So I think, look, there's lots of signs that we're improving, but to answer your question, we can't do that till further down the year.
Do you agree with your head coach there in that you were blistering last season as well by this stage, but you've got greater control this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got a more balanced squad for a start. I think that transpires into being calmer into games as well. I think in times like maybe a couple of weeks ago when we went behind by Salford and we were down by 12 points, there was no panic or anything, and we knew that if we stuck to our processes and everybody knew their role and what that looked like, that we'd come out with the win. So yeah, look, everything's going well so far, but ultimately we're judged on trophies in that cabinet down there.
James Roby's just done the little team talk there in the huddle before going out. Justin Holbrook's work is done by this stage. How long does he leave it? I mean, is it when are his last words?
His last words are about 7 minutes before, so it's all down to us then. You know, we all know our role, and we all know again what it looks like, and you know, it's over to the boys to cross that whitewash and put on a display for the town.
Brilliant timing, Carl. We'll employ you again. As you said, cross the whitewash. They start to cross the whitewash.
Beginner's luck.
You've done this for 20 years, Nobby. You've never displayed that kind of timing.
Get that kind of timing. Watch a few tips off him.
Watch and learn. Yeah. Watch and learn. Saints against Wakefield then in the quarter-final of the Challenge Cup. Let's join your commentary team. Jonathan Davis, John Keir, who will be involved, of course, tomorrow with Bradford, and our Rugby League correspondent, Dave Woods.
Thanks, Mark. We edge closer to that glorious day in August when the 2019 Challenge Cup final winners will be crowned at Wembley Stadium, and St Helens here, red-hot favourites to make that trip, and they certainly believe that. But Wakefield Trinity could be a major obstacle on the road. They've gone a little under the radar, as Mark was saying a moment ago. In the last few years under coach Chris Chester, he has turned them into a very good side. Next step for them would be to make a major final. Is this going to be their year? Danny Brough has had all kinds of strife leading up to the game. More of that in just a second, but here's a reminder of the way they're lining up today. St Helens starting 13 is as good as it gets. Danny Richardson in at scrum half with the French international Thierry Fage injured, but otherwise that's exactly the 13 you'd expect when they're all fit, and he's very close to the 13 that has played most of the games in scintillating style this year. Wakefield have had so many disruptions this season, so many injuries to key players. So today, number 32, Jack Croft, is a 19-year-old centre on debut. Winger Lee Kershaw only made his debut a month ago, and scrum half Danny Brough, as we said, had a wire taken out of his broken thumb 2 days ago, and he's very little mobility in that hand. Referee today is Chris Kendall. Video referee, should we need him, is James Child. So the question is, Super Saints or Holy Trinity? Let there be clatter. Lofted high, and Wakefield bring it back and find themselves 15 metres out from their own line with that first drive. So let's hear from the two gentlemen alongside me, Jonathan Davies and John Keir.
Yeah, I think Chris Chester really hit the nail on the head when he said, you know, no one else thinks they're going to win apart from ourselves. So they've got to believe that, and I think they've got to start well. You know, it's a severe test. St Helens have been on form, but Fage is missing, and he's been very instrumental this year for them. So got to start well, Wakefield.
And this is a very important set as well. That the very first one, initially they stopped the Trinity side coming forward, but they have made it to the halfway with that offload to Randall.
So here's Miller at dummy half. We'll move out to this right-hand side, and Danny Brough, here comes the first kick of his. Look at that. Well, it's not as good as he thought it was. It's actually turned into a ball kick. It's going to be a tap back on the 20. Commentator's curse.
Very unlucky. What a beautiful kick. A ball, you know, the bounce of the ball, never thought it was going to go there. Unlucky for Wakefield.
Yeah, and of course, because it's gone over the dead ball line, it's now an extra tackle for St Helens, a 7-tackle set, so that will be the 0 before the tackle count starts now.
There's Makinson. He's always seeking an opening wherever it finds him on the field. He will search and search, very often finds an opening as well. Roby in at dummy half. We're expecting him to do big minutes today. Aaron Smith, the young hooker, not on the bench today. Morgan Knowles can always push up into that position, but Roby is more than capable of doing a full 80 minutes when called upon. Thompson with a drive in. St Helens advancing nicely down this line side with Lomax, who shows a little bit of a dummy, and it's going to be the first try of the game with 2 minutes played. Lachlan Coote is over. You always sense that Wakefield were dancing on the rim of an active volcano coming into this game, and we just had our first eruption with Lachlan Coote scoring.
Yeah, tremendous try there from Coote, supported on the inside as always, but it was a break down the short side initially from Lomax. But I thought the go forward from Walmsley and Thompson really helped them. But this was the header from the kick from Danny Brough. Just bounced the wrong side of the corner flag, and that makes it a 7-tackle set. During that 7 tackles, they hit the short side. They've got numbers there. They're trying to paddle backwards, buy a bit of time, but Lomax just hit the gap, picked up the inside support runner for a very, very good try indeed.
I'm not sure. You know, if you just watch it there, Danny Brough, his hand heavily strapped. You know, and he's just shown the inside, and he's taken it, Coote, and I think the defence, he had to step in there.
So Coote, he's an Australian, but he qualifies to play for Scotland, and that means he could well be in the Great Britain squad at the end of this season, who knows? But he's kicked that, so it's a perfect start from his point of view, a try and a goal, and St Helens lead already by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, well, Coote will, you know, it's been a tremendous acquisition for St Helens. I think he suits their style really well. He's just one amongst the team. And Wakefield were just disappointed there that the first set from St Helens resulted in a try. This is a very, very important defensive set from Wakefield Trinity.
Yeah, you knew they had to start very well. Unfortunately, poor defence there.
This is a kick-off. This is a kick-off that had a bit of interest, but Roby's back there to nullify all Wakefield interest in that and give St Helens possession back again. And here comes Wormsley, who's lost the ball. Yep, knock on. So there's a victory for the Wakefield defence.
Yeah, well done, Jacob Miller. My word, he picked him out, didn't he? It's the big man picking out the half-back. It went straight at him. Miller stood his ground, played at the ball, forced it free, and there's the error. Great piece of defensive work there from Miller.
Yeah, they got to close Wormsley down because he is such a tremendous ball carrier. As you said, picked the small one, tried to run over the top of him, lost control of the ball.
So, a bonus position here for Wakefield.
Come on, ball in.
They'll need to take their chances when they're on offer here today. St Helens have that ability not to score once, but twice, 3 times in the blink of an eye. They love to work a bit of momentum and blow teams away. So if Wakefield can get a foot back in here early, that would lift their spirits enormously. Tanginoa, the new signing, the Australian, just arrived from Manly just a couple of weeks ago. Brough to that left-hand side. Miller now. Into the fullback is Hampshire. Hampshire gets a pass away. It's a reach. It's a try. It's a try on his debut from Jack Croft. Unbelievable. 19 years of age and his first touch of the ball at senior level, and he scores a try. It's a dream.
It's a brilliant finish. I tell you, I thought Nagama had him, you know, but all of a sudden, quick feet just powered through it. And it's a brilliant finish. What a response from Wakefield Trinity. Fantastic response. Just watch it. As you know, they go wide, and there's nothing on. Step in and out, powers through. Brilliant finish.
Yeah, it's really clever how they create numbers there. 3 pivots there, the half-backs and Hampshire. But then what a finish from the young man. We know he can play from it in the academy, but my word, to touch the ball your first time on your debut, that's what it means to your coach. What a great try.
And they said, Sam said in studio, they do play a lot, and they've had a couple of clever plays, but nothing created there. It was just an individual bit of brilliance from Jack Croft.
You rather suspect that at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, that young man might still be watching replay after replay of that moment. That was massive, and that is a terrific kick from Danny Brough as well, and it's all square. So Wakefield are not here to be rolled over. They're here to play.
What they've got to do, they've got to front up defensively. Just watch again. They put the ball, they don't create the numbers. He drifts onto him, but the power and the feet to get beyond him. Brilliant finish.
Well, Jonathan, I think they did front up defensively. Jacob Miller, that's how they got the field position. So more of that.
So what a start. What a start to this Coral Challenge Cup quarter-final. As we know, 2 teams already through. Hull from their victory on Thursday night against Catlan. Warrington from their victory against Hulkingston Rovers last night. 1 more place to be decided after today. Bradford, John Keir's Bradford against Halifax tomorrow. The draw straight after that as well on BBC Two. But here come Wakefield, enthused by their response.
Yeah, Tanginoa's made a really good start to this game, both defensively and carrying the ball.
Kopchak goes left, Miller offers it back on the inside again, and straightening up here by England. 15 short of the halfway line. Here's the new fella, Tanginoa. Kick out of dummy half by Tyler Randall is caught on the full by Lachlan Coote. It's a decent chase by Wakefield, so Coote stops and starts there.
Yeah, I think Tyler Randall had a look at that. He was inside the 40, went for the 40-20, just hooked it a little bit. Beautiful positioning by Coote.
Well, Sam Tompkins in studio said that the fullbacks have to have an instinct and read the play and guess in some parts. Well, he certainly guessed right there, feeling the ball on the full.
Nakinson on the search again. The England international, Roby out of dummy half. Knowles goes left to Lomax, who offers it inside to Coote. A little bit of a step, but he steps into trouble. Some robust defending here from Wakefield. St Helens are on the last
tackle.
Yeah, it's Craig Kopchak, is it?
If you watch Lachlan Coot, he just adds a little bit more, doesn't he, than Barber did. Barber's an amazing player, but he is just a team player. As you said, his kick in, his input into the game, he comes in as like a half-back as well. Very, very confident player, Lachlan Coot.
Quarter-final tomorrow, Bradford Halifax, 2:15, we're with you. Forum after we finished here, the iPlayer, the red button, online and connected TV, you can't miss us. Hashtag BBCRL, and don't forget the 5 Live Rugby League podcast available every Monday. There's a bit of a St Helens theme to this one actually, John Wilkin and John Wellens. Paul Wellens even, on the podcast last week, still downloadable. There's the high kick from Danny Richardson. Ben Jones-Bishop underneath it. Oh, steepling catch, tackled in midair, penalty for Wakefield. Well, you feared the worst from their point of view when they conceded after 2 minutes. Just at the moment, they're feeling bullish.
Great response, isn't it? And what a take that is from Ben Jones-Bishop. Eye on the ball all the time, took off and certainly tackled in the air there. It's really interesting as well. He normally plays on the right, and they've sat him on the left, obviously to play with the youngster Croft. And Lee Kershaw's moved on to his right wing to play with a more experienced Reece Lynn.
I thought Mington was unlucky there. He competed for the ball. Just thought the decision went against him there.
Out of dummy half goes Reece Lynn. Bludgeoning effort by him.
Move, Luke! Hold.
Saints taken back the 10.
Go forward.
Randall. Swiftly through hands here, and as a young fella, they've got his number now. They've got his number now. They're not going to give him any room. In his face as quickly as possible.
Good read, wasn't it, by Makinson there.
England. But they're on the 5th, so...
He looks a powerful ball cutter, doesn't he, Croft, already?
Coming here for one of those big, high, left-footed boots from Danny Brough. Grace is underneath it. Would have heard the hooves thundering towards him, but catches safely.
That was a great take because the ball was floating everywhere in the air, but Regan Grace pounced it very, very safely indeed.
Roby looking to his right for any kind of ambitious runner, but there was none there, so he took it in himself.
If Wakefield are going to kick, they are going to kick on Regan Grace's channel, isn't he? They'll try and test him out.
Roby. Cook just lingering to his right, but he goes left to Lomax, and Lomax along the line, swiftly done by Percival to Grace. There's a bit of daylight in which he can run here. Those rubber legs of his, he's imponderable to watch, imponderable to tackle sometimes. Coot goes high, Hampshire underneath it. Oh, it's spilt! It's spilt! And the referee says it went backwards. They've got away with one there. They really have. Picked up by Kershaw.
Well,
Another of the youngsters.
Let's love the enthusiasm, though, from Lee Kershaw there. He's there, he's working off the ball. Yes, it was spilled, but he's first to the spilled ball, so good on him.
Wait, up we get. Keep your hands to
Backwards.
yourself.
Kershaw, the man who got there first.
Surrender.
11 minutes played, 6-6.
Stand free. Wait.
Wakefield fans enthused. Kopchak looking to get the arm free.
I think they've responded so positively after that early setback of the try. You know, Forza carrying the ball well, good kicking game.
Miller back to Hampshire. Hampshire left to Croft again. And Croft, that's the second time he's stepped Naigama. Naigama got a hold of him this time. Oh, he's remembering this. He'll remember this for the rest of his life. Just the way it started so far. Danny Brough gets on that left foot to give himself a kicking angle, but Coot has it read and is across there. And searching out for any lack of commitment from that Wakefield defence. As Richardson rolls in at dummy half. Makinson again. Penalty. Offside. Oh no, it's a word. Jacob Miller. Keep that shut, I think you might have heard the referee say. Chirping, and has given a penalty away from the cheek.
No need for it. This is, you know, you've got to keep your discipline now, because this would give St Helens field position.
What they've done, Jonathan, they'd worked their way back into the game, haven't they?
Yep.
They've been, in the last few minutes, they've been equally as good as St Helens. They're in the game, and then that lapse of discipline, which is unforgivable, really. You know, it just camps St Helens deep in the Wakefield half.
Well, the shot there about the penalty for dissent was that it didn't come against Danny Brough. He's a normal chirper in chief, isn't he, as far as Wakefield are concerned. Here's Zeptire. Little sashaying at the hips. He's just signed up for another year or so, hasn't he, Zeptire, this week? Alex Walmsley will bludgeon it forward again. Well, look where they are. And they've got a penalty. They got a penalty.
I tell you, Walmsley is devastating runner with ball in hand, but they're just standing off him, aren't they? They're backing off him. You can't afford to. He's such a quick man for a big man as well. You know, you've got to close him down, close his space down.
He is, and what they're trying to do there is slow him illegally, and within 10 and right on the post, inevitably they'll take the 2 points in a knockout game. But he's a handful, isn't he? He's a big man. He's got great leg speed, and he's very clever as well. He knows which ruck to come on. When it's a slightly quick ruck, he'll come on the back of that, and then all of a sudden it becomes even quicker.
He had a big injury last year, didn't he? Career-threatening injury, and now he's just bounced back very well.
You say inevitably they'll take the 2. Was it that inevitable?
Yeah, it was. Just to get through to the next round. If you win by 1, you're in the next round. If you win by 101, you're in the next round. Take the points.
The interesting thing is here, Saints were dominant last year. They were the form side last year. You lose 2 games, you win nothing. So, you know, in a cup game, any easy points that come to you, you know, I think, and it shows a little bit of respect as well for Wakefield.
Just reflecting the groan of disappointment that went around the stadium when they elected to go for 2 rather than run the ball. The kick's gone over from Coote, 2 out of 2 for him. St Helens do have the lead by 8 points to 6.
Well, I suggest to you, Dave, that it looks a lot easier to score a try than it actually is. So that might be the answer to that.
Oh, he's in a very confident move this weekend, John Keras, giving Dave a bit of lip. I think he's thinking about tomorrow.
So 8 points to 6, St Helens lead. Danny Brough with the restart. His hand heavily strapped up. To remind you, he only had the pins, the wire taken out of that hand 2 days ago. Very little movement in his hand, Danny Brough. Richardson going right. Little duck from Garma. St Helens beginning to move with Nedis again, back to where they want to be. Making some with another carry.
Right, go free.
Walmsley with a soft hand, you could hear the intensity of that little challenge, and Tyler Randall has come off second. In fact, Craig Kopchak has come off second best. Tyre stretching through again. Percival has it. Grace to his outside. Grace's way is blocked. Tries to find a little avenue between those defenders, and he's held up just short. And the referee's going to stop it here because of the injured player in back.
I think it's Danny Kerman.
Possible head injury. It's going to be tackle 5 there.
Yeah, the signal is that it is a serious-looking injury. Normally they play on.
Well, they've got to stop it, Dave. If it's a head injury, the referee's got to stop it. And
it's a leg, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, to me, it's left leg injury. There's a lot of traffic, and you know, and the ball was played there. They took the ball to the line too forward. Just a Walmsley take us in. Very difficult to see what happens there.
It is Kerman. It was almost as if he was caught by a boot.
I don't think anything caught him. He went in with the shoulder. I'm not sure if the hit then.
It certainly hurts, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. Just watch him here. He comes in with a hit. And I think his left leg is caught by the ball carrier.
Yeah, it was Morgan Knowles, wasn't it, who came on that little tip-on play. And Danny Kerman has come off worse for wear with that collision.
Yeah.
And he's struggling at the minute.
I think he caught the inside of the thigh, you know, the dead leg, you know, he'll struggle to run it off. He'll try and run it off. It was very, very difficult.
Well, that's a genuine concern. I think Chris Chester is trying to work out what the nature of the injury is. Kerman's getting booed, but that's bad taste from the Saints fans, because he's one of the most honest professionals in the game, isn't he? Danny Kerman. If he's injured, he's injured.
He's been a great servant to the game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and deserves better.
He's back on the defensive line here. Richardson inside to Roby. Knowles to Lomax. Peru coming on at pace. Wakefield reading the situation. And that was the 6th, so it's a handover. Wakefield have it back again.
That's disappointing from Saints. I thought they'd have put a little grubber in or put a cross kick in, but
Decent place to turn over the ball on, Jonathan, isn't it? You're saying you've got the full length of the pitch if you're going to score.
And I think you'll find, Jonathan, it's a lot harder to score tries than it looks.
Thank you, Dave.
Apparently.
Thank you, Dave.
Randall, Australian, he's one who's had a few injury problems as well. He's been out until fairly recently with a shoulder injury. There's so many problems amongst that Wakefield squad this year. Kopchak, the Welsh international, one-time captain of John Keir's Welsh team. 5 gone, here comes the last. Danny Brough again, inevitably, just pumping it down the middle. And Regan Grace will pick it up and bats it back. It's like a mirage that suddenly appears.
Great feat.
It's one of those players, you know, where the stadium get excited, don't they? When he receives the ball, there's a sense of expectancy and excitement.
The back three, they run the ball back exceptionally well, you know, for St Helens. Just look at it now. They've got Percival.
Walmsley.
Kerman's not right, you know.
No, he's down again, Danny Kerman. And up dummy half goes James Roby, searching out, and again the referee will stop the clock.
Time off.
Well, it's definitely a head injury this time.
It's different this time, isn't it, with Danny Kerman? He's properly in the wars here.
Yeah, I know, but the doctor's on and there's not a whole lot I can do.
He's had an outstanding career, Featherstone, Huddersfield, and he's been at Wakefield for 7 years or so. Danny Kerman is getting there. He's just got his head in the wrong place, I think.
He's caught it, you know, 2 defenders. He's just caught it. He's gone in, proper tackle. Percival takes it in, and I think he just goes in and.
Is it Anthony England who catches him with his hip?
With his hip bone, maybe.
I certainly think it'll be a head injury assessment, and
Chris Chester's cursing his luck, I think, because he knows how important it is to have a general out there in the shape of Kerman. Doesn't want him coming off.
Well, Danny Kerman's renowned as a leader through deed, isn't he? It's not by what he says, it's what he does that he leads this team, and it'll be a big miss.
Fafita, who's missing today, and he's a big miss as well, isn't he, Fafita? One of several stars.
He is, you know, he's a big ball carrier, but he's very talented with the ball in hand as well, the offload. You know, you've seen him kick as well. He scores crucial tries, but he's, you know, he's a catalyst of their front foot rugby.
So he's hurt. So let's get some words of wisdom down on the touchline. Robbie Hunter-Paul.
Well, what we can see from the pitch, from this part of the field, right where we are, right next to the sideline, look, Wakefield are starting to get bent backwards by the big forward running by St Helens. So what the guys in the halves, probably decision-making, and in particular Danny Brough, maybe start thinking about making the game look a little grubby, start kicking the ball out, bringing it back to zero, because the Wakefield forwards just at this time starting to struggle with defensively. They need to grapple a little more, slow them down in the middle of the park, and make sure that they can give themselves the best chance possible to stay in this wrestle.
Well, Kerman's coming off this time. Clearly in a bad way. So the boos. I think there's some recognition amongst the Saints fans that he is a genuine casualty here. So an applause out of respect as he comes off injured. 17 minutes played. Chris Chester's just wondering where it goes from here. Well, it goes to Lachlan Coote, who puts a little kick in. Hampshire's across to get that and goes to ground to make sure he stays in at the field of play. And Wakefield start from here.
Yeah, and again, they've started from within the 10-metre area on a couple of occasions now. It takes a lot of effort to get out from there.
It's interesting how they've rearranged the team as well, because obviously George King is a middle unit player. He'll be in there, but it looks as if there's Tanguy Noah has come out to the right side, second row.
Well, they're going wide. It's Croft. Bags of confidence. Jones Bishop. Penalty. Man in the rock. So an easy penalty, a much needed penalty from Wakefield's point of view.
That's a good penalty for Wakefield. You know, they were under the cosh. You saw they struggled to make any yardage, you know, in the middle there, so they went wide quite early.
me, boys.
2-2, penalties conceded.
Go.
So St Helens have not been allowed to find their rhythm so far in this game. And a lot of that down to the doughty approach from Wakefield, who are building themselves back into their opponent's half. George King just on from that interchange bench.
Move, Dominic!
His brother Toby involved in that Warrington win last night. Oh, it's read by Grace, who went for the tackle before the ball got there. But it's a knock-on. It's St Helens head and feet.
Yeah, I think they're complaining that he was hit before the ball. I think it's a well-timed tackle. It's a delayed pass by Tanginoa. Just watch, tries to pull Percival in, but he reads it exceptionally well. Man and ball.
Yeah, he got the centre interested, didn't he? And obviously Regan Grace has got to follow his inside defender and made the tackle as he received the ball and forced the error.
He certainly knew how the chaps are ended before Reece Lynn did, didn't he?
Head in, head in.
Came in with a shoulder. Lomax
Ball in.
will feed this scrum. Percival is standing behind it, pawing the ground. He wants to run, so off he goes. Lateral for the moment. Wakefield pushing up. St Helens still inside their own half. Roby. Richardson offers it back. Peyru stepping and dodging and weaving, but he's got a hold of and put down.
Do some work in Kopchak.
Too long. Too much work. On the ground. Penalty for St Helens.
You know, I know you're trying to slow the play of the ball, don't you? It's so important to keep your discipline and not give field position away.
Just a sense of a gathering storm here as St Helens find themselves in decent position at the start of the set. Hammered in the first instance by Thompson. Left it comes. Richardson now across the line. Zepter 15 away, but 4 tackles to go, and all the pace and handling ability in that St Helens side suggests they'll get closer still here. Roby out of dummy half. Goes right. Knowles. Richardson offers it to one, throws the long pass out wide, and the spectacular finish by Tommy Makinson, who does spectacular so well. But they're going to have another look. He thinks try. Well, they're checking the touchline, so let's hear from our video referee for the first time today, James Child.
We have a live decision of a try. We're just checking for touch. So he's now in possession. He's got to remain in the field, which he is. Still in field. Next footstep. Keep it going. Still in field there. You can see a gap between the line. Now he's diving for the line. He just has to maintain possession, which he does. Confirm the live decision. Try.
I have to say, that is a magnificent finish. To keep his feet, especially his right foot, in the field of play was brilliant. A little bit of ball watching there by Ben Jones-Bishop. Unfortunately, the pass beat him.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely
brilliant finish.
The precision there. It was a matter of millimetres, wasn't it? With all that gymnastics and athleticism thrown in as well. That was a hell of a finish, John Keir.
It was a great finish. It really was. And you know, the same at this. They say the games at this level are a matter of inches. Well, it literally was a matter of inches. But it all came about with this. Kopchak there just interfering at the ruck, just that half second too long. There's the field position, there's the shape play. Lovely pass from Richardson there, and perhaps Bishop just a little too tight. Yeah. But what a fantastic finish from Makinson.
It's an amazing finish. Just Lachlan Coote's dummy run, he just holds Ben Bishop in a little bit, and a beautiful pass, the right, you know, ball. But what a finish that is. Anyway, that international season, you know, it's been the making of Makinson, hasn't it? He's just been brilliant.
Golden Boot winner last year, wasn't he? International Player of the Year. In all the test games that were played, Tommy Makinson, the standout player last year. And that's not a bad kick. That's not a bad kick. Lachlan Coote puts it over. He remains foot perfect as well. 3 out of 3, 14 points to 6. St Helens lead this now.
That 2 points now seems very important, Dave.
But I tell you what, Tommy Makinson makes scoring tries look very easy.
Yeah, a lot easier than it actually is, Dave. But yeah, that's been tremendous. That's a great passage of play. Let's see once again the response from this this nuggety Wakefield Trinity side.
14-6 St Helens lead. Last 8 games. Oh, there's a knock-on from Lomax. They are human, and offside as well by Regan Grace when he picks it up, so it's a penalty for Wakefield here.
Again, it seems nothing, but it's a well-placed kick, right? A well-placed kick. Just watch, it should take that, but...
So, instant chance for Wakefield to respond. We've said before, when St Helens score tries, they very often back them up with a second and a third. They've not been allowed to here today. Wakefield have put their feet back on the Saints' necks and are pushing hard here. England put down, 5 away. Tyler Randall rolls in at dummy half. Chest out, bends down, picks it up, throws it left to Miller. Miller, Hampshire's lost it, Hampshire's lost it. You can give up the chase now, because as soon as it gets to Regan Grace, surely he's not going to be caught. Oh, look at Ben Jones-Bishop. It's Nagama. Who's going to be held up 5 out. Makinson bowls it right to Richardson. Richardson now, and there's the gap, and there's another. There's another. Morgan Knowles, who plunges over. St Helens do have back-to-back tries, but it was a gift.
Yeah, fantastic opportunism though from the St Helens side. Ben Jones-Bishop did a great job chasing the Garma down, but I love the composure that they kept. They all flooded forward. They shaped up straight away, and that allowed Richardson to move the ball to Morgan Knowles, who's a middle unit player, but ended up on the right wing, and over he goes for a real good try. But it all came, didn't it, from the error at the other end of the field.
Yeah, here we are, good field position, but again, it's a poor pass, knocks it on. Peru gets it. Everyone thinks Nagama can make it, but it's brilliant chasing back. Look at the both wingers closing down on him. They both kind of get to him, but keep their composure. Makinson gets the ball away, and then once that pass is in, it's a simple finish. And very, very unfortunate for Wakefield Trinity. That's how important. The execution has got to be important. You can't give opportunities, you know, to the quality side like Saints.
So Morgan Knowles, a scorer. He's a Welsh international. John Kear's his international coach, and you reckon he should be a shoo-in for the Great Britain squad this season?
Definitely, without a shadow of doubt in my mind. He can play long minutes. He's very skillful. He's very tough. He can defend. His name should be already on that plane for Great Britain.
So here's Lachlan Coote with a kick from the touchline, and he's missed it this time. It remains at 18 points to 6.
Crucial times now for this Wakefield team. They need to tighten them up in the middle of the field, make sure that they control the ruck and get down and play the game down in St Helens' half.
I think it's, you know, they've got to cut the errors out. One penalty set that position for the first, the previous try, and then it's, you know, it's a fumble and good execution by Saints. You've got to try and cut the errors and keep your discipline.
Okay.
Percival. He's
move, Craig!
Been out recently as well with injury. Seb Tyre lobs it over to Richardson.
Well, they're certainly moving this Wakefield side about deep in their own half, St Helens.
Peru.
Go to
Roby. And Thompson, who just sticks that ball underneath his right arm and charges in as hard as he can. He does that time and time again. And Walmsley with a fantastic pass. Absolutely sensational. And a weaving run from Knowles here. He's eventually dragged down. But what about that pass from Walmsley? Penalty for St Helens. Penalty for St Helens for the ball steal. And a yellow card is coming out for the professional foul, because had he got up and played that, Saints were over, and that's the only way that he could stop that from happening.
Well, in all honesty, he had to do it, but that was great skill from Walmsley, wasn't it? You know, associated with carrying the ball aggressively into the collision, but that was lovely soft hand prior to the collision to the supporting Morgan Knowles, and then ball steal, and it's deemed a professional foul, so Ryan Hampshire has to spend 10 minutes on the sideline.
I think again, you know, it's a beautiful inside ball by Walmsley, but the defenders have switched off on the inside as they play the ball. It's a fast play of the ball. It's very difficult, but you've got to be, you know, alert to that. And then from there, you know, to Sinbin. He's got to sow the ball down. It's a walk-in for St Helens. But this is 2 points now to take it, you know, 3 scores.
And it's interesting, we react about how they're moving the ball in their own end, St Helens. What it's doing, it's making the big guys of Wakefield move, and then they're playing subtle little plays through them. So if they're going to an edge, then trying to go through the middle from that. And it certainly worked in that instance.
Variety of their play is...
Well, it's not fair, is it? When you're bracing yourself for Alex Walmsley coming at you, you're bracing yourself for the tackle. The last thing you expect is that little pass on the inside. There's a kick from Kurt. 20 points to 6.
That's what John said, Dave. You know, it's they're getting it wide, then they're, you know, taking it up the middle, the inside, lovely. Just watch this. You know, straightens up, lovely pass. It's very difficult for the defender to play the ball, to get to him. You know, he's a very quick forward. Knowles. There's the steal. 10 minutes in the bin and the man short.
It was highly skilled, though, that was it, from Walmsley. It really was. And like you say, David, when he's coming up, when he's there, you're setting yourself for 2, 3 men going into the tackle to counter him, and then if you're charging and he just offloads like that, it's good night Vienna.
He might be having another go here. Lomax with a catch, and Walmsley, here he comes. This is a fella, by the way, who last year broke his neck. He broke his neck playing the game. At one point thought he might not walk again, and here he is hurling himself into tackles with no self-regard for safety at all. He's a terrific prop forward. Naigama on that right-hand side. First year here at for him. Kevin Naigama at St Helens. Settled in nicely. Peru. Roby. Knowles in the middle again. Thompson. Lomax threatened on the inside pass, threatened an outside pass, then lets his dancing feet cause Wakefield a little bit of concern. We're on the last here. They're 30 metres out, so Kurt will make this a bit of a test stat for Ben Jones-Bishop, who's filling in at full-back in the absence of the Sinbind Hampshire. He's taken it well enough.
But again, look where they start in the set.
It's a good call, that, Jonathan, because it's consistent, isn't it? It's always within the 10 metres of their own line.
And it's draining to take it out, you know, absolutely draining for the Wakefield players.
Hold, go free.
King, George King in, but only up to the 30-metre mark, and they're beginning to run out of tackles here. Tanginoa. So on the last, they'll be looking for Danny Brough, a little bit of magic from that left foot again. Oh, it's behind the 40-metre mark. I tell you what, that was very nearly a 40-20. Lachlan Cook, the touch judge has said, threw it back into the field of play before he went out.
Beautiful play, Lachlan Cook. A lovely kick again. Just watch this. He knows he's not going to stay in. Foot's in the air, get back inside.
That was brilliant from both the kicker and the defender, and this is brilliant as St Helens stream through again. Nagama's on the inside. Oh, he tried the double pump. Why did he pass it first time?
Well done, Ben Jones-Bishop. He saved his side, hasn't he? A certain 6 points are there. Richardson he just holds it that extra half second. I think he could have passed that 2-3 paces earlier and it'd been a try, but well done, Ben Jones-Bishop.
And also, a technical point here, you know, the inside supporter, if Ben Jones-Bishop is coming at that angle, he's got to stand a little bit deeper. Because he was too flat, the inside pass didn't work, and you know, he stopped the try. So the supporting on the inside has got to be a little bit deeper.
Lomax. Coots again right into the defensive line before throwing the pass out to Percival, who's fending off Randall. Fending off Wood, and pass away, and he's there on the outside. Percival, he started it, he's looking to finish it, the flick pass. Well, there's complaints from Tommy Makinson to his teammate about that pass.
Yeah, a little bit overconfident there, I have to say.
Over elaborate, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You know, an easy walk. He'd done the hard work. There's the pass. He straightens up, and he gives it to his winger. Just he's got to straighten up there. He is straighten up, but then he got the elaborate inside pass. Didn't tell his winger, but unfortunately for Wakefield, they knocked on as they collected the ball. So it's still St Helens on the attack.
Little point to the head by Percival, I think in self-acknowledgement that was a bit of a brain explosion, but he might get another chance here. His teammates certainly do.
10 seconds.
I think Tommy Makerson made sure that he knew it was a brain explosion.
Okay, shot clock off.
Tommy was ready to fly in at the corner again, wasn't he? But he needed the ball in his hands. He needed a good pass. Here's Kurt, puts it. Oh, he's dummied. Roby.
Stand, one, wait, go on.
Little glance to his left, but he's going right. Wormsley keeps them honest. Keeps them working hard down the middle.
Two, move, Epe.
Roby's counting numbers, and he goes left to Kurt, and Kurt puts it over the top. Here's Regan Grace. Percival, and good work from Kershaw, who I have to say is the oldest looking 20-year-old I've ever seen, Lee Kershaw.
I thought they defended very, very well, man short.
And now they get the way round, and it's Regan Grace who finds a way to score, and St Helens, it seems, are always on the brink of finding a way to score. Regan Grace, the young Welshman, adds his name to that list of scorers.
Yeah, they're not only highly skilled, St Helens, with the ball movement and the timing of the runs, and they're not only very physical with the carries, but they're also very, very smart indeed. Roby there, he notices it's 2-on-1 down the short side. Wakefield, a man down, they take full advantage of it. The marker sinks in, it makes it a 2-on-1 play, and it's quite a simple try there.
And Kershaw is the winger. You know, the Kershaw is caught at the play of the ball. You know, while he play old, you know, this hooker, St Helens hooker, he's been such a long time, Jays Roby. You know, he's going to pick those things up. The winger is standing there right in front of him. He knows there's space on the left-hand attack side for them.
I think we've got some news on the touchline from Tanya. What can you tell us, Tanya?
Yeah, Danny Kermond is back down here, but he's had ice on his left knee and he's failed his head assessment, so on both counts, he's not coming back on for this game.
Heads, knees and whoops-a-daisy as far as Danny Kermond's concerned. Off for the game, and that's a big blow for Wakefield. As Lachlan Coote settles over this.
Time off.
24-6 as it stands.
Time back on.
Has he pulled it? Has he pulled it?
Well done, Johnny.
No, just wide. Just wide. So it remains at 24 points to 6.
Yeah, and the space of 50 minutes, you know, they've been blown away. Ill discipline, you know, mistakes, and then a yellow card. This is the play, this watch, he gets in, Kershaw is in, he's made the tackle. James Roby comes in, Taya, stay there where you are. Up, little dummy, keeps him honest, simple finish, try.
And that's not the most glamorous try that Regan Grace has ever scored. He's scored some absolute eye catchers. Made his debut against Wigan on a Good Friday a few years ago, as Sam was saying a little earlier. But John Keir, as the Welsh coach, you gave him his international debut before he'd made his club debut, didn't you?
Yes, he did, and he scored a couple of tries on it as well, and one was an 80-yard against Serbia, and you knew then that it was a little special, and it's certainly fulfilling that promise.
He's a lad from Port Talbot.
Move,
Regan Grace.
Hold, go to.
Love.
Wormsley. Nice part of the world, Jiffy.
Santa Botablo is nice, yes. Mike Nicholas and Bobby Wombom, a couple of other Welsh internationals.
And that Bobby Wombom playing in the 1974 Challenge Cup final for Warrington.
They're taking full advantage out of the St Helens of this man down, and Wakefield are compounding things by giving penalties away as well, so the dominating possession whilst there is a man down.
Thompson with a drive. St Helens leading 24-6. Remember this time last year, they got another penalty here. Remember this time last year, they were absolutely sparkling, and it all added up to nothing in the end. Didn't make the grand final, didn't make the Challenge Cup final, but you get a sense that it is a more robust St Helens this year. They have the ability to blow teams off the park, but you also feel that they have a grittiness about them this year. Penalty again.
I think this decision is that hard-nosed professionalism, isn't it? Just win the game.
Yeah.
Don't worry about how we win it, just win it.
And again, this just takes them, another score away. I do like the way Lachlan Coote has added to this side. You just watch him where he stands when they're on the attack. He's right behind the play of the ball. You know, he comes in like a second half back. He's good in the kicking game. He's added something to this side.
Just studying concentration as he readies himself here with that left foot again, and this time he has put it over, so they can chant his name again. The St Helens fans, the hum of Coots goes around this stadium. 26 points to 6. That was the chairman, Eamon McManus.
I think, Dave, that this St Helens team are a team who've learned a great deal from their woes of last year, and there is that hard-nosed edge to them as Ryan Hampshire re-enters the field to make Wakefield back up to the full complement.
Yep, totally agree there, John. I think they're a more rounded side this year.
Time back on.
Grace with a catch.
One, move. Wait.
Ruby.
Wait, go on. Keegan, not square.
Taya Richardson on the search and gets it, and Peru, and now Nagama, and Nagama's threatening and flicks it away, and Nicholson can't keep hold of a difficult pass.
That says it all there, Dave, doesn't it? Look, totals meters gained 751 to 261.
Yeah, they've dominated possession as well, haven't they? 17 sets for St Helens to 10 to Wakefield, so they've had the ball and they've certainly had the field position on the back of that, but they'll be disappointed, will Kevin Nagama there, just overplaying. When it had done its job, it stretched the Wakefield line, it forced the big men to move, forced the line to readjust.
Well, Wakefield need to do something quickly here. What can they do? Danny Brough up to the line. Hampshire's had a rest. Back on the inside for Kershaw. He made a try-scoring debut when he played against Leeds last month. Lee Kershaw. They've got an opportunity. Reece Lynn. St Helens determined in defence. It's knocked down by a Saints player. So it's a scrum down. Is that not a ball steal?
Yeah, he knocked it on, I think, in the tackle.
Head and feet for Wakefield.
We need to pack if you want time off. Okay, we need to pack. Time off, stay in that formation.
Well, why is that not a ball steal?
Well, I'm with you, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Okay, boys, let's pack down.
But Wakefield will take this.
Okay, head in. Shot clock off.
Not a penalty, but it's still them in possession. And they would have taken a tap anyway. Oh, Danny Brough with the shock play out of the scrum. Regan Grace back behind his own line. Safety first. So they forced another set of six here, Wakefield. But time's running out. There's only 90 seconds of the half remaining. The shot clock's on, so Saints will have to take this dropout in the next 30 seconds. Wakefield will have a minute and a full set of 6 to have a go at this St Helens line.
Yeah, I think you could see what they were trying to plan. There was no one in the defensive full-back position, but Loughlin could read it and drop back.
Well, they've still got time for a full set, Dave.
Yeah.
So let's see what they do as they build this set.
10 seconds.
So Coote with a dropout. Wakefield with 6 tackles. Enough time for a full set, you'd think. Miller on the inside. Here comes King. So George King sets the initial platform. How do Wakefield play on the back of this? Spun away to Brough. Offered back on the inside for Keegan Hurst, and Hurst bundling forward to 2 settlers for Wakefield. What do they play now? What do they play? Out they go. Miller, Hampshire's involved. Nagama's there to make the tackle. There's still 3 tackles to go, and still over 40 seconds of the half remaining. Miller across the line. The pass was asking a bit of Tanginoa to actually keep a hold of the ball, but he has done.
Did well.
Kyle Wood out of dummy half. Straighten up by Hurst. Hurst 5 metres out. 1 play to go. 1 play to go for Wakefield here. At the end of the half, Brough goes left. The ball bounces. Picked up by Wood. Goes right. Makinson knocked down by St Helens. I don't think there's enough time for this scrum unless Wakefield can pack down and stop the clock. Watch the referee. Watch the referee. There he goes. Stops the clock with 6 seconds to go in this first half.
Not enough. 1 play.
It's a kick here.
It could be a hell of a play. If Wakefield are going to get through this cup tie, you fancy they probably need to get something off the back of this to give them a little hope in their hearts as they go in.
Jacob, come on, you've played the game for long enough. You know it needs to go through there. Come on.
Scrum half's not fed it properly.
Down.
Do it again.
We need to be straight. You're taking the mickey.
Time back. Shot clock. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Last play of the half. Danny Brough. Randall puts it back. Hampshire's involved. The hooter sounds. Still they play on. They'll try to keep it alive. They do so. But St Helens defence absolutely determined. Morgan Knowles gets in there with the tackle. And Wakefield's hopes extinguished at the end of the half. Saints leading here by 26 points to 6. And a super show by Saints in that first half.
Oh, it's been tremendous. I mean, they really are. They're on point with their game today, St Helens. A clear game plan that they're executing to the highest degree. And they just look a level above. In all honesty, they look a level above Super League, don't they? How they're playing. Tremendous performance.
I think varied performance, you know, good stroke running. Execution's been good finishing.
Danny, where do you think it went wrong for you in that first half?
Probably first set of game when I kicked it dead for 7 tackles. We haven't been in the game since. You know, we haven't completed his sets, and Saints has done a job on us. Wherever his late man's gone, we've been butchered, and you know that's part and parcel of the first half.
If you tighten that up, though, do you still believe you can get out into this?
I always believe we're a chance, but we need to keep hold of the ball and get to the end of a set. We haven't done that this half, and that's why we're where we are.
Cheers, Danny. Thanks for your time. Let's bring in Tommy Makinson. Tommy, how key was being patient in that first half for you to wait to take your chances?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we know they'll come, and we just got to keep building our sets, putting pressure on them, and yeah, we know what we can do. But they're a quality side. You know, you give them an error and they capitalise. So yeah, we've got to watch out for that.
So is it more of the same for you? Would that be the message, you think?
Yeah, definitely just ball control as well. After points, we just need to settle down. You know, just keep putting them under pressure. And yeah, we're in for a tough game. They're a great side, and it's a tough one to go.
Cheers, Tommy.
Cheers.
You know, try through Nguama. If they get enough ball and put enough shape on against them, we should get some success.
Please send us your tweets. Hashtag BBCRL for the Red Button Forum later. Nikki Welding sent us one. My mum, who's 83, would like someone to tell these blokes with beards, I think this is all of us, that they all look 10 years older, just like Peter Barlow off Corrie, though she approves of Brian Noble's haircut.
What?
Hey?
There you go.
There's still life in the old dog yet, isn't there, Brian? Looking good. Let's go back to our commentary team. Jonathan Davis and John Keir and Dave Wood.
Not much hair up here, we can tell you.
Speak for yourself.
And one of the least hairy people on the pitch is that Lee Kershaw, the only 20-year-old, and as we get this second half underway. And he's going to be involved here. Is Lee Kershaw, is he? Wakefield looking to get possession back again. St Helens get it. Lee Kershaw is there to make the tackle. There he is, the number 29. And John Keir was telling us at half-time his nickname is 40-20 because he's 20 and he looks 40. Is that right?
Correct. Got me into some bother now, haven't you, Dave?
Not a whisker in sight as far as he's concerned. So St Helens have not been in the challenge. There he is. There he is. Make your own mind up. St Helens have not been in a Challenge Cup final since 2008. 11 years since they last graced that big occasion. You've got to go back to 1953 since they've had a longer run without making the final. The way they're looking at the moment, you'd make them very warm favourites to rewrite that piece of history this year. But Wakefield have got some encouragement here. Head and feed at the scrum on the halfway line.
Yeah, we're not used to that, are we, from St Helens? They're normally very clinical. I think Brian Noble said decisive and incisive, and I think that's an accurate description normally, but that one they're just a little off. It's a great opportunity now for Wakefield to themselves build some pressure from a midfield set.
Blackline, head in, mate. Okay,
Danny Miller who feeds this. Jacob Miller, ex-junior Kangaroo. Jacob Miller, he's been here at Wakefield for a while. He's been in England a little longer. He was at Hull before he moved to Wakefield, so he knows the scene. He knows the importance of the Challenge Cup, as this fella, Danny Brough, at dummy half. Randall puts it short. Tanginoa, who's only just arrived on English shores, taking it well. Miller's pass away, Hampshire, but they come flooding towards him, the St Helens defenders.
Good defence.
There's no respite, is there? They're not just a fancy down team with ball in hand, they work hard in defence as well.
Wait. Go for.
Wood to Danny Brough.
Clear.
Into the line comes Miller again. 20 metres away, one tackle to go. What do Wakefield do here? They go blind. Randall puts a little kick and chasing. Grace is back there, runs away from the despairing hands of defenders and actually loses his footing a little. This makes him a little easier to tackle than he normally would do.
Yeah, it's a very good defensive set by Saints. Tried to move him around a little bit, but, you know, coped quite easily.
Move, Matty! Wait, go.
Roby. Oh, my God.
Well, 2 headers in 2 sets from Saints.
Giving him the opportunities, John.
Yep.
Shot clock on.
Well, if Wakefield can score pretty early on, all of a sudden there's a few seeds of doubt.
What is this? Lack of concentration? Slow out of the blocks at the start of the second half from St Helens?
Well,
the sense they've got the job done?
You feel there must be some reason, because they've come with 2 headers that are most un-Saints-like.
I just think they've lost concentration a little bit, you know, those precise moments. After their season last year, you know, they're not going to lose concentration.
Problem for Wakefield is they score again, they wake the beast. Here's Lynn. 25 metres out. That's not to say they don't want to score next. Of course they do. Kyle Wood out of dummy half. Looks to his left, and George King with a heavy effort forward again. They're creeping closer here. Creeping closer. Looking to test this defence. Keegan Hurst to his left-hand side of Matty Ashurst, who was being touted as an England international not that long ago. Miller. Dummies, and then drops off the pass to King, who's put down 10 out. And penalty for Wakefield.
Well, another opportunity.
They run it, it's another set of 6. Tanginoa hammers it forward. Wakefield just getting a bit of hope, a bit of optimism building here at the start of the second period. Wood spins it out. Brough steps away from Lomax. Lomax grabs a hold of his hips and makes sure he's going no further. So Kyle Wood, hands on hips, runs out of dummy half. Back it comes now for the effort from Hurst. 3 tackles gone, 3 to go. Second set on this Saints line. They must be draining a bit of energy out of this Saints defence. Brough to Miller. Now Hampshire. Hampshire puts the foot down. Hammers the accelerator, but Saints hammer him. Picked up by Ashurst. Back to Miller. Danny Brough. Brough with a step, left-footed, hooks it towards that right-hand side. The kick is knocked down by Grace. Saints have it back again, safe and sound, and start the tackle count from there.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that the set Wakefield. You know, they had no penetration, no go forward, and they were very lateral. So it was very difficult for the attackers to stay behind the halfbacks. It came to nothing in the end, and it's an opportunity for Saints now to, you know, to clear their own lines.
Mickinson offering that threat from deep inside his own half. Richardson spent a bit of time on loan at Lee, hasn't he, in the Championship this year. Danny Richardson, the bright star last season, looking to rise again this. Hampshire. Support from Kershaw, who'll pick up and run it back over the 20, looks for the 30, but Saints just absorb his efforts and bring him down. We talk about St Helens a long time between drinks. That's forward. Penalty, offside.
You passed it to the man, mate, it's a penalty. You passed it into the man, it's a penalty.
Well, that's the new interpretation.
That's the new rules, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. The referees call it exactly right.
Saying that he's passed it on purpose into... Yeah. Now, that was happening every week, wasn't it?
It was, yes, and the penalty was going
the other way.
But so what they tried to do was tidy it up to make the game a better spectacle and keep it flowing.
It's very unsportsmanlike, isn't it, to do that? You know he's offside, so...
Stops the gamesmanship.
It does.
Hammered in the first instance by Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Hold, go on.
On from the interchange bench. Richardson now gathers it in, and here's another fella from the interchange, Paolo, who offers it left to Tyre. St Helens looking ominous again here. 15 away. Roby. Early stages of this second half. And it's the fresher faces who are doing the work here. Lees.
Stand free. Wait.
Roby delivers left. Lomax. Percival smothered with ball in hand. Wakefield working hard in defence here, and they have to. They've one more tackle to make here. Richardson just ushering his forwards one way or the other. In fact, they've got another tackle to go. This is the last. McCarthy Scarsbrook put down. Roby will go to Richardson. Richardson with a step and another. Offloads. In comes the effort from Coote, but there's the effort from the Wakefield defence as well. Hand over.
Great effort there from Wakefield Trinity, wasn't it? And it was certainly needed to keep their slim hopes alive in this game. But to show great heart there and desire to keep the Saints out.
This is where the hard work, starts now for Wakefield. It's just got to make good yards to get a good kick in. Lovely break, King.
Here's Wood out to that right-hand side. Defence is good. Wakefield still only 20 metres from where they want to be. I tell you what they could do with a big fella here to help them pound a few yards out. Or they could go for the width and the pace of Kershaw, who's finding a path. Pick up and off they go again. Across the field by Reece Lynn.
Well, they've done a good job, haven't they? Clearing their own line,
yeah,
really good job.
Fantastic job.
It's Wood with a pick-up. Brough with a pass away, and here's an opportunity for Matty Ashurst.
Great tackle, that is.
Makinson again on the last. Brough left-footed, off the outside of the foot, spins it high in the air. There's a few question marks hanging up there with the ball as well. It bounces back to Lynn. Lynn now has a look, puts the grubber kick in. It hits Percival, and the referee has said offside.
And Escort. Yeah, they took one of the Wakefield chasers.
Leave the ball.
Interfered with his chase line.
Escort.
So the penalty. Well, they've gone the length of the field in that set.
They did in that set, yeah. Okay. Now the reward is a set right on the St Helens line where they can throw something at them, attempt to get over that whitewash.
Little composure they need,
Here's Miller.
Go on.
Wood out of dummy half. Miller now is directing things and then puts a little pass away to Ashurst.
Move now. Wait.
St Helens on their own line at the moment. Miller to King to Brough. And the slide kick in, and Randall will gather it up and score the try. And Wakefield with a start they desperately needed at the start of this second half.
They spoke about that in the studio before the game. The deftness and the touch of this kick is absolutely brilliant. He's going against the grain, he drops it in there. They didn't create the overlap from all the plays they've done, so the kick, is a great weapon, and when you can execute it that excellently, it's a brilliant try. Just watch it. It looks so simple as it comes across. This is the penalty. Yeah,
it is right.
It's a harsh call, but it is. Yeah, he changes line. And just watch the deftness of this kick. They've numbered off exceptionally well, okay, so there's no extra man. That is a beautiful kick.
Yeah. He's like the Kevin De Bruyne of Super League, isn't he, Danny Brough?
Absolutely fantastic, because he takes the ball right at the line, and it's the tiniest of gaps that he threads that ball through, and it's a great try from Randall.
It's not just the deftness of the kick sometimes, it's actually the vision as well, isn't it? He produces kicks that nobody else sees. There is an attempted conversion from the touchline. It's gone wide, so 26 points to 10. Let's go down to 10, you don't know the touchline.
Yeah, I've got David Fafita with me. David, how key to get the first try of the second half?
Yeah, it's good. I think the boys just keep completing and doing their job. We're in for a fight back. We never say die, the attitude, and I know what the boys can do and capable of.
I mean, this is what they could have been doing in the first half, isn't it? Just building that pressure. Do they just need to be patient now?
Yeah, just take the opportunities. I think if they just play consecutive now, just complete and at a high completion rate, we should come back in the second half.
How frustrating to be sat here watching it, not playing.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. Yeah, I want to get out there with the boys. But yeah, on to next week.
Cheers. Thanks for your time, David.
Thanks a lot.
It was a foot injury suffered against Catalan, was it, last week in a magic weekend that has kept David Fafita out today. And Wakefield looking to back up that great start with another good finish if they can. Ben Jones-Bishop, it's another penalty, high tackle.
Well, they're certainly having the calls from the ref now. They've got to make the most of them, get good field position now.
But they're getting the calls, Jonathan, because they're actually challenging St Helens. That was good ball movement there to take the yards wide out. And as he made the half break, obviously they tackled him, and it was a high tackle. So the penalty count evening up now. Real good work here. Trying to release Jones Bishop, who is very, very quick, and referee's exactly right. Contact with the head from Richardson.
Well, they're here now, 50 metres inside the St Helens half. And looking for more. Just a sense, just an anticipation that they do have a route back into this game, but they have to score next. Taken on by George King. Little shove from Kyle Wood. Brough again offers it for Tanginoa to show his brute strength. The ball's gone to ground. There was danger there because had Saint slipped. You can imagine it finishing 80 metres the other end of the field. Hurst. St Helens slowing it right down. Last play. So Miller sticks it high, puts a bit of spin on the ball. The leap, it was anybody's here. Taken by Joseph Paolo in the end.
Yeah, stick it under your jumper. They've just got to complete the set, those Saints have. Wakefield have, come back at them.
Well, they've challenged them, haven't they, Jonathan?
They've been brilliant.
They've got some field position, they've challenged them. They've caused some stress with those last tackle plays.
St Helens moving swiftly back. Grace. Well, you can see where the ball has been for most of this second half. A lot of time Wakefield been inside that St Helens 20. Paolo to Richardson. Payro finding a gap, finding a way, looking for an offload. Richardson gets the foot in, sticks it back to Paolo. Referee says play on. McCarthy Scarsbrook drops his hips and drops the ball backwards. Taya puts it out again. St Helens keeping this alive. Percival comes scouting across the field, but he's got a hold of and dealt with mightily well by Jack Croft, who's really having a game to be proud of today.
Yeah.
Richardson. A little bit of yardage covered by Hampshire to get there, and look at this, rips right through. Wonderful return by Hampshire. Picked up by Wood, who carries it on. Oh, he looked for the offload, and he's knocked it on, but Lomax in with a thunderous shoulder.
Momentum was all with Wakefield then, and it can all turn on one incident, and that tackle by Lomax, could be a game changer.
It's a great return there, is it, from Ryan Hampshire. Real good work. Back as far as Wood had kicked it from. Wood takes off, there's half a chance, but my word, what a tackle this is. Technically brilliant there. Bends his back, hits with the shoulder under the ball, and sits him on his backside. Great tackle.
Made his debut 10 years ago against Wakefield. Johnny Lomax in the Super League.
I think he's having a...
Has he really been around 10 years? That's... Doesn't half age you, does it?
Okay, boys, ready?
Terrific player, and as his coach said before the game, having a great season this year.
He is, I think. Theophage is playing well. He's there. Coote is helping him as well.
Lomax offloads. St Helens just beginning to build again here. Will be on the inside. McCarthy Scarsbrook driving it in. Roby again. Paolo. Heavy artillery taking it forward. Richardson offers it back to Peyru. 3 tackles to go, 30 metres away.
He's holding him in. Go, 3.
Roby. Lomax. McCarthy Scarsbrook arches his back into the effort again. Roby has a little gander. He's going to come to that left-hand side. Sachet's right, but goes left, and Lomax with a short pass. And Taya. Well, they're only 5 away, but they've only got 1 tackle to go. So Roby goes left. Coote with a little double pump, and he's caught in possession. Tries to get the ball free. It goes to Wood. Wakefield have it back. So let's go down to the touchline and hear from Robbie Hunter-Paul.
And this is what St Helens want to do. They want to put that pressure back on Wakefield. Wakefield are very tricky just after half-time. Last week in the Magic Weekend, they turned around a 12-point deficit to score 18 unanswered points against Catalan Dragon, our 2018 Cup winners. So a very tricky time for St Helens. They need to turn up the volume right now and make sure that they can close this game out as soon as possible.
There was a Super League game as well, John, earlier this year, wasn't there, where Warrington were absolutely coasting at half-time against Wakefield, and Wakefield very nearly won the game.
Well, one thing you can't question about this group of players is their spirit and their the desire to work hard for the club, and they've got it in bucketfuls.
Yeah, and if they can get their players back, you know, and try and make the playoffs, they'll be a difficult side to beat.
Percival, sorry, Makinson.
I love the way he plays the game, Makinson.
Tommy Makinson.
He just looks for work, carries the ball at 100 miles an hour every time.
Great in defence, as we obviously saw against New Zealand, didn't we, in that Test series last year. And he's an absolute brilliant finisher as well. McCarthy-Scarsbrook, ball's been knocked free. Oh, knock on, he says. Knock on.
I tell you what, they've gone so loose at the moment.
Yeah, the errors, they're coming to plenty, aren't they?
I wouldn't be surprised if Walmsley comes, you know, back on, just to straighten it all out a little bit.
Well, Justin Holbrook, the coach, not a happy man, and it's just loose, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think, you know, they've switched off a little bit. You know, I think they're lucky they got that 16-point lead. They wouldn't be as loose as this if there was a tighter game. So everything's lateral, you know, that Wakefield have got to do. I don't think that Wakefield have got the muscle to take them on the middle, as we said. So they've got to play wider, and they've just been dragged into that game.
Here's another.
Here's an interesting one if it stays in.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, that's the trickery of Danny Brough, isn't it? Nobody would have expected that. Doesn't come off, but he's willing to try anything.
Yeah, what it is, they put a play on that brought the winger up, and that's when he put the kick in, and you'd have really fancied Ben Jones-Bishop if they stayed in the field of play, but just drifted out.
Yeah, just overcooked it a little bit.
So to remind you, tomorrow John's got a big day. Bradford against Halifax, early night for you tonight, John Keir. 2:15 we are on tomorrow. After that, the semi-final draw. The forum is on after we finished here. Red Button Online Connected TV, hashtag BBCRL if you want to take part in the conversation. And the podcast, the 5 Live Rugby League podcast, is available on BBC Sounds. And you can have a look on the BBC website as well, the Rugby League page. There's usually a link to it there as well. St Helens have 1 foot in the semi-finals, but it ain't done yet. It ain't done yet. Roby, Joseph Paulo to Lomax, and Taya Rieslin right in his face. Lomax, last play. So back to Coote again. Puts a little bit of footwork to give himself some space, and a high hoisted kick. It's too long. Too long. Tap back on the 20.
Well taken, though.
Yeah, this is a great chance. This is a disrupted defensive line.
So the 0 tackle. The tackle count starts from here. Oh, it's swung away. Jack Croft can't get away with everything today.
No, he just didn't need to do that. Just didn't need to do it, did they, John?
I think that's the first error that the youngsters made on his debut, but you know, it was the first tackle. So, you know, what he's done is just kissed away a full set.
Yeah, they saw the opportunity of an overlap, broken defensive line, but you just gotta, if it's not on, you gotta hold on.
Chris Chester's had terrific success as head coach here in the last 2-3 years at Wakefield. He'd love to get them to a Challenge Cup final. It's been a long time between drinks. 1979, last time Wakefield were in a final. Last time they actually won one was 1963. It's a famous old name from rugby league. That period in the early 60s, they were one of the powerhouses, weren't they, Wakefield? But several falls from grace since. Joseph Paulo offers it on, and Seb Tyre says thank you very much. and scores an easy try, and that absolutely puts St Helens back in the driving seat again.
Yeah, he really came onto that ball at speed. That's what St Helens have got. They seem to play so quick on the advantage line, and the skills are so clinical that they can hit the ball at pace. And that's exactly what happened there, and that's why Zeb Taylor came through the other side and ended up scoring his first try of the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, you know, beautifully finished. Just watch, they worked it away. Ball handling, and you're running at the left hand of Danny Brough again. Just watch it. He just runs the inside shoulder of Danny Brough, where the injury is. You know, poor defensive effort by the two Wakefield players there. Tired defensive line. Now just settle St Helens down. There's still a long time to go now. This could be a long 19 minutes for Wakefield now.
It's kind of you to highlight the poor defensive effort of Danny Brough, who only had pins taken out of that left hand 2 days ago, by the way.
If you're a professional sportsman, they will know where to run. They run the first try that scored with down the inside of Danny Brough, and now that.
Yeah, it was a gamble to play him today, wasn't it? It was a gamble to play.
And he hasn't, you know, he's played exceptionally well. He's a very talented player, but sometimes, you know, it takes a long time to recover from injuries. And at this level, you know, if you're not fit, you get punished.
Zeb Taylor has been terrific for St Helens this year.
I think the whole team's been terrific, but yeah, I think he's stepped up to the plate. I think Johnny Lomax has been outstanding as well this season.
Well, let me just qualify that then. There's a lot of headline makers in that St Helens team. Zeb Taylor doesn't often demand the headlines, but on the quiet, he is a fantastic player, isn't he?
That was a great short kick-off as well. And Jones Bishop claimed the ball, and he was tackled in the air.
Yeah, he was. Good.
Interesting, the left winger was over on the right there to go after the short kick-off. So some smart rugby there from Trinity.
Mark, keep that stump.
But you are right, Dave. Taylor, you know, does a huge amount of work, and he's a real threat with ball in hand.
And he's on the field for the full 80 minutes very often as well.
Move, Danny!
Jacob Miller rolls to the ground. Wood picks up from dummy half. Here comes Kopchak, that upright running style of his. And they're only 8 metres away. But they have to score 4 times, Wakefield, to get themselves ahead. It's an enormous ask at any stage of the game, but 17 minutes left to play. They'll have a go. Anthony England rolled to the ground. Kyle Wood in a dummy half. Back it comes. Travis dragged down. Last play. Wood again. Brough goes with the angle kick towards the corner. That's a great take by Ben Judds Bishop, but he's lost it. Nagama picks it up. Tries to scramble back to his feet. There's a speed bump effect there by Wood in defense, by Miller, I should say, in defence.
I'll tell you what, Dave, we've all been waxing lyrical about St Helens in attack, but you've got to take your hat off to them in defence as well. They're really well organised, they work very hard for each other, there's some stick in the collision, they control the ruck. My word, they're a good team.
Joseph Paolo.
Still free.
He's thrown it away, but Roby's there to take it. See the extra 22 tackles that Wakefield have had to make. That's nearly 4 sets extra of defensive work they've had to do than their opponents here today. And Zeb Taylor is off again, and he'll look to his right-hand side, and Lachlan Coote is there, and he's not going to make it, so he invites Mark Percival to finish it all off underneath the sticks. 7 tries, 7 different try scorers by my reckoning. Yeah. They can get you from anywhere, St Helens.
He just said, like, you know, how dangerous Taylor is. You know, he runs great angles all the time. He's very strong, very deceptively quick. On a tiring defence, you know, it's very difficult. And then once they break your line, support play is fantastic. Percival, Coote, brilliant finish.
I think you've hit it there, Jonathan. They're very, very smart again where they're running. And through it comes the other side of the defensive line. Look at the support steaming through, but look at the composure and the awareness as well, the vision to pick the right players out. It's absolutely first class. First of all, Taya, he picks the right support player out. He's got one on his outside, one on his inside. He picks up the inside support player, Coot. He's aware of Percival coming from outside to inside, and over he goes. That's quality support.
Beautiful try.
This should surprise nobody because they have been averaging nearly 40 points a game for the last 8 games, St Helens.
1 minute. Mate! Off the post.
So Lachlan Kerr kicked 6 so far today. Missed a couple, but this is one of the easiest attempts he's had. And over he goes, 38 points to 10, no doubts now. St Helens are in the hat for the semi-final alongside Warrington and Hull. Will it be Bradford or Halifax to join them? Whoever gets into the semis will not want to be facing this St Helens side the way they play this game.
It's a joy to watch, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
an
is.
Absolute joy to watch. It's entertainment, it's royal entertainment. There's real good stuff there and a great finish for Percival.
Stay behind, stay behind.
Wakefield have been hanging onto shirt tails very often today. And St Helens are in the mood to entertain. They'll go again, they'll lift again. Matty Lees, one of the young guns that has come through, especially this year. Here's another one, Jack Ashworth. Actually made his debut 4 or 5 years ago, but he's been racked with injury. He's making his mark this term. Joseph Paolo. Roby. Richardson. Dummy. Gap created, quickly closes.
On the roll now, aren't they?
Hold. Go 5.
Lomax. Just trying to measure that kick. Hampshire's under so much pressure. Oh, he's done really well. Really well. Let's hear from Tanya down on the touchline. Tanya.
Yeah, I've got Teo Farge with me. Teo, do you enjoy watching your teammates, or are you just frustrated not being out there?
Yeah, I am. You know, it's obviously it's good to see the results and the boys doing well. I thought they're in control of the game. They did the last maybe 20 minutes of the first half. They were good, and you know probably took advantage of that sin bin, and then they look in control of the second half. So you know it's good, and hopefully 11 minutes to go. So hopefully we get the win.
You'll be hoping to be back for a semi-final.
Yeah, well hopefully I'll be fit and picked as well. So you know I think we got a few league games, and you know we've got a long time to the semi. So we make sure we're ready for that.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
It's a little conservative optimism, wasn't it? 11 minutes to go. Hopefully we can get a win.
Well, I think also, you know, the keeper said if I'm selected, I think everyone's playing so well. If you get injured and you give someone an opportunity in a squad as powerful as this, you might have to wait for your chance.
Makinson.
Surrender.
Gathered in by Croft.
Stand. Right. Go on.
Magama. Proud Fijian international.
2. Move.
Captained his national team as well down the years. Kevin Magama. Oof. His brother Wes was a good one as well before he was forced to retire, maybe prematurely because of injury. Grace.
Surrender. Stand for go.
Roby.
40.
Richardson is inside the 40. It's not going to find the touchline though. It's just a distance seeker. Hampshire brings it back.
That chase was fantastic, though, wasn't it, Jonathan?
Just about to say that, yeah.
We were privileged enough to see it off camera, and it's just a full-line chase after 70 minutes of rugby league, and the winning 38 points to 10. That tells you a lot about their attitude.
He had nowhere to go, Ryan Hampshire. You know, he's looked threatening in the second half, but on that occasion, the kick and the chase, very, very good.
For the pass away, Miller and Hampshire, and here's the young 19-year-old having the day of his life, Jack Croft. England, oh, he didn't look, it was a no-look pass, but it wasn't a great one, and he's lost it, and off they go again, Zeb Tyre, and it's going to be Lomax who skips away. Danny Brough with a brave effort, especially given the hand injury. But Lomax is over.
Yeah, another mistake, picked off. And there we are, another try. They are just so dangerous when you give them, you know, any openings.
Well, the condition of St Helens must be very, very proud, because both offensive and defensively, they just look full of energy. You wouldn't think these players had played half a season of rugby league, and whenever they make a break, they just pour through in numbers to support. You see here, there's the error.
Again,
through he goes.
Pressure.
And then there's Roby one side, Lomax other side. There you go, Johnny Lomax. Get your name on the try list.
Well, we've had a recount. Sorry for the mathematics. That is the 7th try that St Helens have scored today. But the other side of that statistic remains the same. Still, 7 different try scorers. They all want a piece of the action.
It's been a good, solid all-round performance. Switched off a little bit, but they were 16 points in front. A little bit of momentum for, you know, Wakefield just after half-time. But comprehensive winners.
Well, the applause you hear is from Zeb Tyre coming off the field. Lachlan Cook with the attempt here. Kick's good. Kick's good. 8 out of 10. And this is an 8 or 9 out of 10 performance from St Helens today. They lost their concentration a little at times at the start of the second half. 1 or 2 uncharacteristic errors from them, but given that, the fact that they've still scored 44 points tells you an awful lot about how good this St Helens side is just at the moment. But a reminder, they were here last year. They were here last year and ended up with nout, as they say in these parts. So they know there's still a lot of work to do.
They do, and I think that's shining through with the amount of work that they're doing, and they're grounded, they're working hard, they're all doing the jobs, and they defend well.
Oh, left it behind.
Yeah, left it well left.
Jack Ashworth.
Yeah, well, Jack Ashworth's job isn't fielding the kickoff.
This is the job. Just run it in as hard as you can. Cart it up.
2, move, Craig! Go,
Oops.
2.
It's behind you, Jack.
You put it on
Knock on.
You've got to find space. He's placed the ball
Not
on
the
his
best
foot.
minutes.
Got to find grass.
Again, this is that new interpretation where, as he's tried to play the ball, he's found the opposition foot. But look at the metres gained there. There's 4 players above 100. Alex Walmsley at 93, and you know Alex hasn't been on the field for a considerable amount of time.
So that's they're all St Helens players. That's not just St Helens. That's in this game.
Yep.
The top 5 metre makers, all St Helens players. The best from Wakefield at the moment is Rhys Lynn, I think, on 92, and he's the best by a distance in that Wakefield side.
Come back on the ball.
Kopchak takes it in 10 metres out. Wakefield looking for a brief smile on their lips at the end of the game if they can here, if they can perform from this position. Brough offers it back. They've spelled it again. Initial knock on, and that means head and feet for St Helens. So Jonathan Davis, man of the match.
John and I have had a chat about it. I think Alex Walmsley has been immense, but you know he hasn't been on the pitch that long. Didn't need him. James Roby, as usual, always give him man of the match. Morgan Knowles have been, you know, terrific. But for me, you know, the all-round performance, Zeb Tyre, you know, is my man of the match, Challenge Cup man of the match.
Back down, boys. Wait, Johnny, wait.
And well deserved with the amount of metres he's chewed up and the defensive effort that he's put in.
Yeah, Coral Challenge Cup man of the match, Zeb Tyre.
1, move, Anthony.
James Roby at dummy half. Said they go back to 2008, last time St Helens played in a final. James Roby, the only survivor from that day at Wembley.
And he's still an integral part of this side, you know. He's been on 80 minutes, now look at him, and he's just firing.
Oh, here they go again,
ball.
here they go again. Lachlan Court looks, and Nagama's going to put the foot down, and this time Ben Jones-Bishop won't get there, and Nagama scores, and make that 8 tries with now 8 different scorers. They're all getting their names on the score sheet here. This is massively impressive from St Helens. There'll be a shiver of fear running through the other teams in the semi-finals.
I just think they do everything well, you know. They had a little bit of an off patch, but, you know, even as we mentioned early in the first half, when they turned the ball over, it was in the Wakefield own 10-metre area, and now you see, you know, how much that's taken out of the Wakefield side. They're absolutely out on their feet now because they've defended and worked their way out. But brilliant Blake. He puts his foot down. He wants to get on the score sheet. It's a brilliant finish. Another great try by St Helens.
Again, it's really smart. They took the short side. It became 4-on-2 because there's a late switch from Richardson, and they made full use of that. More attackers than defenders to strip the Wakefield defence and score in the corner. Great try.
I tell you what, who's been, you know, impressive as well. Lachlan Court. The more I see of him, you know, when you. The boy said in studio, when you have someone like Ben Barber, who, you know, who's absolutely magical on his day, but sometimes he has an off day and he lost a little bit of form at the back of last season. This guy is more of an all-rounded player, and I think his influence on the side is far greater than Ben Barber. His kick-in, his support play, when the way he chips in like a half-back.
Coates with a conversion. Oh, he started it on target, but it hooks well wide. 48 points to 10. Kevin Nagama, the latest to score.
Just look at that, the decision making, the skill, and the outright pace. Great try, great athleticism, great rugby league skill.
Ben Jones-Bishop caught him in the first half, but he wasn't going to catch him then. St Helens fans loving it. Chris Chester, the Wakefield coach. There's nothing else he can do now. Comes down the stairs.
I think, you know, you can't fault these players. They give everything. They've got a lot of injuries.
Okay, surrender!
I think you have to put it into context. I think that's exactly right, Jonathan. They've got a lot of injuries. You know, and they've got players playing who perhaps wouldn't normally have played. And they've come up against the St Helens side who are absolutely white hot.
Looking to promote the ball whenever they can. Nagama, here's making Cern, off he goes. He trusts his pace, but he doesn't quite get on the outside. He's still going. Oh, and he kicks it straight to Ryan Hampshire. And Hampshire can run it back here, sidestepping the referee. Kershaw. 40 metres when he's tackled. They're a delight to watch. Lynn. 3 of them ganging up on him and putting him down, but he still finds somehow a way to get the ball away. Croft brushes off one attempted tackle and then offloads when his way is blocked. Hampshire sizing up a potential kick downfield. Danny Brough takes it on. Wakefield went right, now they come left. Well, they ain't going forward.
I tell you what, Dave, young Jack Croft can feel really pleased with himself, can't he?
Yeah.
His contributions have been really positive, except for one, and here's a break.
George King with a break down the middle and a kick and a chase. George King's after it. Well, if he'd have scored that, I think he'd have been banned from the prop forwards union.
Got to go right.
Picks up and plays it. Ball out to that right-hand side. Miller's long pass. Kershaw is forward. It's forward, and his moment of glory is snatched away from him by the shrill blast of a referee's whistle.
Yeah, unlucky forward pass before he loses the ball in, but a beautiful inside pass. George King, deft kick.
Well, it's forward, but look at Grace's effort as well to prevent it. Massive effort there to prevent that try. And I think that runs through this St Helens team.
I think Saints now, you know, rightly stand on the top of Super League, you know, Warrington are thereabouts. But I think it's their all-round work ethic is a standard as well. They're very, very talented side. They're very organised side. They've got players, you know, do their jobs. And above and beyond that, you have the talented players. And I just think, for me, it's their attitude. You know, they don't allow easy tries in. You know, they're very, very good offensive, but this year defensively they are solid.
Just having a giggle there because they had the shot clock on. It was very nearly down and out, and suddenly they realised they haven't got a ball on the field. So a quick search of the ball boys. One had hidden it behind the corner flag.
One. Movement. Hold. Hold. Go on.
Roby. Richardson. Is there one last minute of flash and glory to come? No, there's not. The ball rolls out of play. That will be it, I'm pretty sure. Nobody's in a rush to stop the clock here. Shot clock's on, but it's all academic because they count it down from 59 to 80. 80 minutes played, and for the majority of those 80 minutes, St Helens absolutely scintillating, superb.
You know, you always say, who do you want in the draw, right? I'm terribly saying that you can say, oh, we don't mind. Nobody will want this side. You know, when the draw, you know, this is the form side, and they're looking exceptionally good, and they've learned the lesson from last season.
I think they've really put a shot across everybody's bows in the game, but especially in Super League as well, because this is a consistent team as well as a high-quality team.
At the moment, 2019 is looking like their year, St Helens. Not been to a Challenge Cup final since 2008. The longest without a final since 1953. But you suspect that this is a team that's capable of rewriting that history this year. 48-10 winners here. So many star players, but the man of the match, Zeb Tyre, is down there with Tanya.
Zeb, congratulations, the Coral man of the match. How do you rate your side's performance in that?
No, it's just, you know, it's just one of those days when opportunities came my way and I just took them. So, you know, full credit to our boys. You know, our middles dug deep today in that first half and set a platform for the team. And it's just, you know, we're just working hard at the moment. That's the good thing about this team.
How nice for you. You're normally one of the unsung heroes of the team. How nice of you for you to get at man of the match?
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like, you know, when you put in a performance like that, it's like, you know, it's kind of hard because you've got so many guys that are outshining you, guys like Lachlan Coote, Johnny Lomax, you know, even Teal Farge, when he's out there, you know, they're good players for the team, and, you know, it's just team effort today.
You've signed on for another year. Presumably, though, the key for you, the key for the team, is to get to those big finals this year. Yeah,
that's it. You know, when I was in the full process of re-signing here, I just thought about the team, and, you know, like, we've got a good team at the moment, and we're just working hard, so it's good things at the moment.
Congratulations on getting to the semi-finals and being the man of the match. Let's bring in Tommy Makinson, one of the other heroes for St Helens, one of the many try scorers for St Helens. Talk us through your try, Tommy, though.
Yeah, it was just a good team move, you know, one we've been working on for a while, and, you know, credit to the boys inside me. We're putting some good players on and doing them well at the minute, but credit to Wakey there. We knew coming into this game how tough it would be, and I think the scoreline, we blew them away at the end, but, you know, it was a real tough game for 60-odd minutes. They're a quality side, and good luck for the year.
When you score your try, they were talking at half-time, do you know where your feet are with the line when you're that close?
If I say, yeah, we believe me. Yeah, I think it's just practice, you know, something you work on. As wingers, I think you look across the league now how many good finishes there are, and, yeah, it's something I find myself naturally good at, but, yeah, you've got to work at it just like everything else.
And how determined is this team, given what you went through last year? Finish top, to be flying and all the rest of it, but not get to the finals?
Determined as ever, you know. Last year we was determined we wanted to get to finals just as we do this year, so, you know, it's all the same. We just got to work harder and trust in each other. We're in a semi-final now, and, yeah, that's going to be a tough game, and, you know, the goal for every club is to win things, isn't it? So if I said that, that's the truth. But, yeah, we're a year older, a bit more experienced, and, yeah, hopefully that counts for something come the end.
Tommy, well done. We'll see you in the semi-finals.
Cheers, thank you.
Let's bring in Chris.